Today I texted one of our friends who works with the Rockettes, and I, in full sincerity, with not a doubt in my mind, it is the beginning of the holiday season. It is almost December. I say, do you think that me and Andrew can join the Rockettes for a day? As if the answer was going to be,
yes.
Yeah, come next week.
And that's why when you were saying that you were going to send that text message, I said power to you.
I just thought that was normal. And then the reality checks back in.
Sometimes you don't realize, like, if you're really alive or the reality that you're in until you send the message.
Until you send the
text.
text.
Has read or someo's typing.
Someone writes back and they have a reasonable response. And you say, that's really
And they're like, sending this to the team
Something is
now?
wrong with me.
And then the team's like,
the Rockettes are like, who?
Do they think that they're the Jonas Brothers making content?
Can you guys imagine us in a lineup of the Rockettes doing high kicks? And it would be your childhood dream come true.
I think that, yeah, and think about a better partnership. I think that the things that we do going down the line, especially with content, it's like we only are going to do content if it makes sense. And the Rockettes make sense.
Good children.
I'm losing my voice.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Oh, the merry bells are ringing. Happy holidays to you.
Hiya, pal.
I don't know how they speak. Is that how they speak?
Yeah, they kind of talk like...
Come on!
It's very Italian.
But
it's like,
are they
hiya,
Italian?
pal.
Yours gives Italian.
Yeah, he definitely gives Italian.
I think if anything, our casting here is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I think that we do fit the roles a little too well.
I mean, again, now that we're starting to do costumes almost
incessantly,
every single week,
and it's not like people are like, do more costumes. No one is begging.
No.
If anything, people are saying, cut this shit out.
Especially for our listeners, I actually would be interested to know if we're seeing more audio listeners.
We're having a steep drop off of all listeners. No one's listening to the podcast.
Everyone's like, I actually am tuning out. They've went off the deep end.
I mean, we have. We've listened.
Yeah,
this is what happens.
course.
You watch one Trisha Paytas video and you say, let's just wear a costume every week.
And you know what? At least at the end of the day, we're having fun.
I'm having a little bit of fun.
I would say a little bit is more than no fun.
That's a great way to look at it, Larry. Could it be his name?
David.
We're dressed as the Home Alone robbers. For those audio listeners, if you're watching it, you know exactly, because we actually are bearing a striking resemblance to these men.
And I do believe if they were to bring back like Home Alone, is it 4 or 5?
There's a couple of Homo loans.
Wait,
Homo
loan?
We're homos living on loans.
Wait,
we kind of give Homo loan.
Take out the loan.
Yeah. Homo loan. Sally Mae, if you're listening, no, you're not.
Sally Mae. Franny Mack.
Who?
I can't. They're like all drag queens.
Franny Mack?
I think it's Sally Mae.
And Franny Mack? Who the fuck is Franny Mack? How did she get in it? Is she also administrating loans?
I think she's administrating loans.
I want an investigation into who.
I made that up.
You made up Franny Mack completely?
I feel like Franny Mack was in my head. It's almost embarrassing that I don't know who Franny Mack is. If Franny Mack is real or I created this falsehood.
What?
I'm spreading lies.
Well, that's all you do.
Well,
that's all you do.
No, Joe, I've lately been only telling the truth.
How are you doing?
I've been better. You know what I mean?
I do.
You're Australian.
I don't know. Sometimes I just slip into voices.
Do you think that you would rob a house?
Andrew, you know what? Now that I think about it, perhaps there's 2 barriers stopping me to robbing a house. One, I would hate to be someone's Grinch to their Cindy Lou Who. You know, except you.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
I mean,
but you don't want to, like, I don't think
can
while
you
are like
imagine,
a Grinch, I wouldn't say that you're trying to steal anyone's Christmas.
That's the thing. I would never want to steal someone's Christmas, but money's money.
Money's money, and like
I couldn't live with the guilt.
They got those jewels.
I couldn't live with the guilt.
You would die.
I can't even imagine how like criminals who do this by trade. Like, how do you sleep at night? I can't even. I'm not saying it in like a how do you sleep at night?
No.
How the hell do you get to bed? I can't sleep at night as if I've robbed a house.
Yes.
Imagine.
No.
I haven't really broken any laws. If I robbed a house, I would never sleep again.
If I robbed a house, I would never sleep again. If I took something from Whole Foods,
I would
different story.
Well, don't you do that often?
I mean, here and there, but like, as I've said before, sometimes it's buy one, get one. But not on jewels. Not on jewels.
Are they stealing jewels in Home Alone? I don't know.
I think they're just like honestly trying to torment
criminals.
the kid almost.
Well, at the end of it, kind of like gets to the point. Well, I just watched it last week, and that's when this costume came to fruition. I was looking at that man that you're dressed as, and I said, "That is Andrew. That is Andrew." This is always a dream costume for me to do, actually, in all sincerity. Anyway, I was watching Home Alone, and it seems like the plot is they forget Kevin. Also, there's a scene at the start of Home Alone when everyone's being so mean to Kevin. Like, it's actually a movie about child abuse, and he like fucks something up. Like, he gets. I mean, when you poke a bear enough, the bear is gonna attack. Kevin's gonna get upset, and then this old man who's not his dad, must be his uncle or his grandpa or something, goes like,
"Yeah, it's the uncle.
Way to go, you jerk!" In front of the whole family.
Was it at the breakfast?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Or like the dinner or something. Pizzas. It was the pizzas came and he like ruined the pizzas. Way to go, jerk. Saying that to poor little Macaulay Culkin.
He's like a 4-year-old. Can you imagine?
I mean, he's certainly like not 4.
He's looking 4.
No, he's not.
You
know what a 4-year-old looks like?
I guess I don't.
Kevin McAllister, 4 years old.
My niece.
I'm like, you have so many 4-year-olds around.
Do you know what a 4-year-old looks like? No. No, but I do believe that like he was driven into the ground. He was beat down, broken down, and tired. So the thing.
You are so Kevin McAllister.
And I was thinking.
Did you relate to him as a child?
I did. I was thinking about, and not for my family. My family wasn't acting like that.
No one was saying you jerk
at all. But
somehow you just took on the persona.
Still took on that persona, and I do believe that if I was left alone at my house, I would have an amazing time. Would I be scared for my life?
Andrew, no, because yeah, exactly. Because in the movie, he wakes up and he goes, "I made my family disappear," and he's so thrilled and he's so happy. You would be sobbing, hysterically sobbing, calling the police immediately. 911.
Of course.
And Kevin says his biggest obstacle is the furnace in the basement. That's the only thing he's afraid of in the whole movie is the furnace, which I never really understood as a kid. And we'll get to A Christmas Story. And for us people who don't celebrate Christmas, don't worry, we'll get there. We'll get there. But right now I just have a lot of shit to talk about Home Alone.
I have a lot of shit. Well, what do you mean? It's not even bad lately.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Good Children, the podcast where hosts the robber number 1 from Home Alone
and robber number 2 from Home Alone
reflect on our 22 years of friendship,
growing up in the late 2000s, early 2010s,
and all of the nostalgia,
trauma,
and armed robberies that go along with it.
I don't think I can own a weapon.
Imagine you with a gun.
I can't imagine if I had a gun.
They didn't have guns in Home Alone. I mean, if they did, it'd be done 1, 2, 3.
I'll say one thing about Home Alone. They were getting creative.
With the weaponry?
Kevin was getting creative. And
I was thinking that it must have emboldened a lot of young boys and young children of all types to start pranking, to start booby trapping, and to start harming adults.
Yes.
Because I was watching that movie and I was like, I wonder if that's what started everyone's fear of getting home invaded as children.
Home Alone.
Because, I mean, it is kind of scary. It's like the one time Kevin's home alone, 2 career criminals decide to break into his house and he has to fight for his life because they're saying, "I'm going to kill that little jerk." Everyone's calling him a jerk in that movie.
I know. It's like, well, he didn't deserve that.
Honestly, he's a bitch.
Who could profit off of this greatly and they should use it in their campaigns? Ring doorbell.
I don't want to give Ring Doorbell any more ideas. No, I do think that Kevin McAllister, in terms of like characters in Christmas movies, bypassing the Grinch, Kevin McAllister is the biggest villain in a Christmas movie I've ever seen.
Yes.
There is something deeply sinister about that child, and it's not just because he's blonde, which does contribute a lot to it.
But he had a sweet face, and he was so sweet while doing all of this.
But that's almost what makes it worse, because he was a little calculated. Too sweet.
Yeah.
He actually was never that sweet. He was genuinely not only...
Was he a jerk?
He was a jerk. He was a little jerk.
Say what he was. Call him what he is. A jerk.
Little jerk. Because not only was he was defending his home. That's wonderful. But I'll never forget the pizza boy scene. That pizza boy, he orders pizzas, and then he starts playing that mob movie. It says, "Get out of here before I pump you full of lead." And he does the fire. And so he terrifies that pizza boy. And I always have to wonder, why didn't that pizza boy go to the authorities? Was he scared for his life?
No one was going to the authorities. Also, Kevin, you got to start going outside and banging on people's doors, but he didn't want to. He wanted to.
No, that's the other interesting part. He knew that the robbers were going to hit his house that night. Mm-hmm. He knew they were coming, and he was with his neighbor, his old ass neighbor, who starts speaking about the power of family. And he says, "If you need anything, I'm next door." Kevin says, "All right, thanks." Goes home and prepares to murder 2 people. He prepares to kill them, which is crazy. Like, it's crazy. Like, he's not defending himself. He is putting a hot iron in a man's face.
And can you imagine he did kill them? What would happen? What would the trajectory of his life be?
If Kevin McAllister murdered the robbers from Home Alone.
Let's redo the movie and they're dead. What happens then?
That's like the third act reveal.
He's like, shit, I gotta bury their bodies. They always did freak me out. But listen, again, creativity. I was feeling stressed during the movie as well. Wasn't he walking along a tight, or like he left the window and he's like,
well, he does like a zip line. That's like the treehouse, and then they have to climb the zip line. He cuts the zip line. He wants them to die.
Makes me sick. The hot knob.
The hot knob. I love a hot knob.
I would do anything for a hot knob, but I don't want it to burn my skin off.
I don't know. I think if I were home alone, I wouldn't attempt manslaughter.
Joe, you would be home alone for about 10 minutes before your aunt, your uncle, your cousins. Were you ever home alone? Yeah, I was definitely left home alone, but not like...
that makes sense.
Not like when I was like a kid.
Not when you were 8?
No. I definitely think in like elementary school, maybe like 5th grade. But you can fend for yourself.
The first time I stayed home alone had to be in high school.
But I'll tell you one thing. What's with these kids these days? Everyone has a babysitter until they're about in 10th grade.
Who were you hanging out with?
That has babysitters?
Yes.
I just feel like there are older kids with babysitters. They can't be left home alone in like 7th grade.
Well, look at the state of the world.
I think I was making pasta.
But you have always been an old... What?
However you say it, with the oil and garlic.
I feel like you have been a very old soul since you were a child. You've always had the spirit of a middle-aged lesbian within you. So you had a caretaker, no matter what. If you were alone, if you were with someone, there was always a Rosie O'Donnell in the room with you.
There was always a Rosie who was able to either iron or whip up a meal.
You were ironing at the age of what, 2?
I remember specifically, actually. I started ironing, I think, at about 4th grade. I'm pretty sure that my mom taught me how to iron, or I just asked questions. And then now it's triggering a thought. When I was 6 years old, actually, in my old house, I went upstairs to my parents' iron.
No.
Hand to the iron. I touched the iron.
Andrew, you have the survival skills.
Hand to the iron.
Of like a chipmunk.
Because, well, maybe that was my hot doorknob moment. Was hand to the iron. I just needed to test it out. And I think that's the joy of being a kid. It's like, you won't know until you try.
You won't know until you try.
And sometimes you gotta try.
Bare hand, palm to the iron.
Palm to the iron.
So what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking everything holiday season. It is the first week of December, and I feel like we're going to be discussing songs. We're talking holidays, we're talking movies, we're talking everything. And who knows, we probably won't even discuss these things. And by the end of it, we're like, I didn't know we were going to talk grocery stores.
No, we're gonna stick to theme this week.
Yeah.
Because I wonder if they're getting mad sometimes.
When we're
saying this week's theme is all about like ant farms, and then we get into a conversation about Marvel notebooks, and it's like, how did we get there? Mm-hmm. How did we get there? What was your favorite Christmas movie or holiday film?
Okay. I think my favorite Christmas movie is Santa Claus, the original Santa Claus.
The problem with me about the Santa Claus...
You don't like Tim Allen. I know you don't.
I don't like Tim Allen.
What is it about his face?
Well, no, he's like a dick.
He's a dick.
And that's the problem.
So you can't separate...
the art from the artist?
Yeah.
No, I will never do that. I'm sickeningly... Except with Trisha Paytas, I cannot separate the art from the artist. Do you think
he started to become a dick because he was Santa Claus?
I mean, I don't think so. I think he's always been a bit of an asshole.
Very entitled.
I'm not getting that personal with him.
No, I'm acting like I just saw him last week.
Have you ever seen Red, White, and Royal Blue?
Yeah, of course I have.
Did you love it? I hated it.
The thing is, I didn't love it at all.
I couldn't even get through it.
The acting for me was
unbelievable. In not a good way.
No.
It was hard to believe.
It was hard to believe. And I'm kind of sick of a gay story like that.
Enough gay stories.
What was your favorite Christmas movie?
What was yours?
Mine was Santa Claus, because
why?
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, tell me why.
I'll tell you why. I think it's one of the final scenes for me when he's on the sleigh and the sleigh takes off. And I remember specifically being like, this could be real. I believe in Santa Claus. I'm watching it like I'm 8 years old.
There is
shock.
such a world where you accidentally kill Santa and become the next Santa Claus. But at the same time, I almost think the job would be too easy for you, and it wouldn't be that compelling of a film. It would almost just make sense.
Yeah, no, I do.
I think if you woke up tomorrow and somebody said, guess what? You actually are next in line. Yeah, we have an open position at the North Pole. We need a new Santa Claus, and we've been like watching the podcast, and we think you might be perfect for the role.
I'm like,
it would be the easiest adjustment of your entire life.
Like,
of your like, it is almost like you almost are Santa coded.
Yeah, I'm definitely jolly.
You're jolly.
I'm definitely like, I feel like I love hot cocoa.
You love milk and cookies.
Oh my God. They don't have to worry about those cookies and milk. I'd be snatching those up.
You love to bring joy to other people's lives.
I do.
I
love to laugh. I love to ho and ho.
You would get to rest for most of the year.
Well, thank God.
With Mrs. Claus.
And listen, would I be stressed? Yes, I'd be a stressed Santa Claus.
But is he not? I'm sure he's stressed.
I'm sure. I mean, if he's handling all of those elves.
Do you think there's like an elf that is like a doctor? Like, do you think Santa has insurance? How does that work in the North Pole?
Santa doesn't need insurance when he's in the North Pole because there's so much magic that it can just heal everything.
That's something I've never understood. Is the lore around like the magic in the North Pole. So is Santa a wizard? Is he a witch? Is it a different kind of magic? Is it just Christmas magic? How does it all work? And I would like someone to break it down for me scientifically.
It sounded like you were asking me from experience.
Because I just have a feeling.
And I have a feeling that I know as well. And I do believe it's Christmas magic. I don't think that's
separate
Santa
from like witch magic.
Correct, because I think that once we enter the witch and wizardry, it sometimes can get into a little bit black magic. But Santa's magic is just red.
That's not necessarily true at all. Red magic?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that witches necessarily constitute black magic.
Not always.
But I almost think it's.
Take a sip of my secret potion.
I find it really. I find it really compelling, the idea that Santa is actually like a descendant of a witch. I think there's something there. I would like to see Mrs. Claus as a snow witch. She's brewing potions. Oh. And it's cocoa. The cocoa is a potion.
The cocoa is a potion. It's like
a youth elixir.
It's healing. It's a youth elixir. It's almost a bone broth.
Because how else is yeah, it's like a bone broth.
It is.
Well, I guess in many ways. How else is he getting around the world in one night? He has to be using time travel. He has to be using a spell. He's freezing time. He's a witch.
There really isn't a movie or a show that shows
the witch, the magic side of it. It's always like, oh, the people
Nicholas.
clap. People believe in me. I can keep going. There's something going on there.
And once you stop believing, he disappears.
You were so afraid.
I was so afraid to stop believing, and Polar Express taught me that.
And we'll get into the narrative of no longer believing in Santa Claus, because I will never deny the existence of Santa Claus in this podcast.
I agree.
Because the last thing I want to be is someone's story.
Can you imagine?
I would myself.
Can you imagine we have a few listeners
who don't know, who still believe, who don't know, who still believe, and we say something that damages their belief and their bell stops ringing, I would never be able to live with the guilt.
I want to be actually like, I almost need headphones for the amount of bells that I'm hearing for these kids.
I can't stop hearing bells.
I can hear the bells.
I can hear the bells.
Wow.
I would take you and Nikki Blonsky starring in a Santa rom-com. She's Mrs. Claus, you're Santa. I will play a witch of some sort. I could play Jack Frost, easy. Get me in. I'm gonna insert myself no matter what into this film.
Of course, you have to.
And it's like we're like having fun up in the North Pole, and it's a musical.
Of course, it has to be a musical.
It has to be a musical.
Yeah. Brr. It's cold in here.
It's just bring it on. What's my favorite Christmas movie?
What is it?
It varies often. It varies often. I have a few tops.
I think that's what it is about the holiday season is like you could have a favorite movie one year. The next year could be completely different.
You could have a different top every year.
When you look at it that way, Joe, you kind of just shifted my perspective on relationships.
Never stop topping.
Never stop.
And I would say tops for me, Christmas with the Cranks.
Classic.
And I was thinking about this actually. Is Christmas with the Cranks not just Home Alone inverted? The parents are home alone. They say, no Christmas, Home Alone. Blair says, hey guys, I'm coming home. They're like, fuck, we're not home alone this year. We have to have Christmas now. It's Home Alone in opposite. And that's why it works so well.
You think that the person who was writing that was like, okay, what worked about Home Alone? You think
John Grisham, who was writing this, he wrote I have it right behind me, Skipping Christmas, the book. It's a book. I'll never forget.
I would like to read.
It's very short. You could read it. So Christmas with the Cranks is up there. Although I'll say something about Christmas with the Cranks.
Tim Allen.
He can't get away from Christmas.
He is kind of the Grinch that stole Christmas.
What the hell? But I love him in Christmas with the Cranks because he's playing himself. He's playing a no good, dirty ass bitch.
Yep.
And that's what I respect. He is also kind of playing that in the Santa Claus.
Tim Allen is
a no good, dirty ass bitch. But he plays that same character in the Santa Claus, so that's fine. Christmas with the Cranks.
Mm-hmm.
They all live in a town where it is forced upon them to display a Frosty the Snowman and to decorate for Christmas. And the Cranks choose to opt out of that. And the town nearly riots. They are putting so much pressure on this family to celebrate Christmas. It has me wondering about the geopolitical conflict within that town. Because don't you find that a little bit disturbing? They zoom out at that town in the end. Every single house is decorated for Christmas.
Oh, when you put it that way,
where are the non-Catholics?
It's almost like they don't care.
It's almost like they don't care. Where are they?
It's not almost. They don't care.
They don't care. It's forced. It's a forced religion in the town in Christmas with the Cranks. And good for the Cranks for standing up against it. But they still lose because Nora is just... I called her Blair before. Blair? Nora. Nora is the mom. Blair is the daughter. Blair comes home and says, put fucking Frosty up. Right now, bitch.
Right now. Because you know what? That's tradition. You can't break tradition.
You're always talking about tradition. You know, like you're obsessed with
You got to
tradition.
think about it this way, right? You want something to pass along. Think about 2,000 years ago. They were oral narrators.
That's what we do.
That's what we do, right? We are passing on traditions. We're talking about our childhood, things that we were doing.
I'm going to start telling people when people ask me what I do for work, I'm going to say I'm an oral narrator.
Yes, of course. We would be telling stories of the past.
Passed down like folk songs, the love lasts so long.
So when you put it that way, I kind of just...
But what did that have to do with Christmas with the Cranks at all?
I'm saying that them not putting out the snowman was killing tradition for the Cranks.
But just for the Cranks. It should be their choice. But it was when the neighbors got pissed. That freaks me out.
Because the neighbors are like, my little daughter, Sally,
needs to see that everyone celebrates Christmas. Investigate Sally. Sally.
No one's talking enough about Sally.
The hypothetical daughter in Christmas with the Cranks. Yeah. So that's just those are my 2 cents on Christmas with the Cranks.
Okay. So
I love the film.
We love Christmas with the Cranks. What was the one?
Well, the one sad thing about Christmas with the Cranks. I've been getting really sad lately.
You've been crying.
I've been getting stricken with sadness.
With grief?
Yes. It happens. I guess maybe it's the holidays. Yeah. Maybe it's just like where I am at in life.
I feel like when you get older... There is a lull, obviously, and we've talked about it before, that you stop believing or, you lose sight of the holiday magic. But then I feel like you get back to it.
Well, that's not what I'm getting sad about.
What are you getting sad about?
It's like random things. Like yesterday, Ross was telling me, he was like, oh my God, someone I follow posted if someone could watch their pet spider for a week because they were going on vacation. I actually started hysterically sobbing.
About the pet spider?
I was just like, it is so sweet that person has a pet spider. That is so sweet. And it makes me so, I was like, the bond between a spider and a human, I actually could cry thinking about it. I actually could, and I was like, please show me pictures of the pet spider.
This is why I'm scared, because I believe you would get a pet spider.
This is an example of why I'm in a healthy relationship. Because I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a spider. Like, I'm going to go tomorrow and get a pet spider because I think every spider deserves a home. And I would be so sad if that spider did not have a home.
Sick.
And then Ross was like, and then he was like, do you like spiders? He was like, I actually can't even look at them. Like, they make me so ill. And he was like, well, maybe the spider would be happier without you. And I was like, I have never needed to hear something like that before. I was like, that was so important to hear.
Because the last thing that you want is to be a miserable spider owner.
Yeah, how sad for that spider. But I do just think about like the bond. Can you imagine? Like, think about that person who's like going away for a week, and they're like, here's the spider's food.
I think that there are other ways to find water. Bonds.
No, I understand, but I'm just thinking about like how sweet and how for nothing. It's a spider. It's an insect.
And then for that person to post being like, I'm just going home and I really need to go home, but like I can't because I have a spider to take care of, and it's really brutal and it's hard out there.
Please stop.
For a spider owner, and like I just want to be normal like everybody else too, because I just want to go home and just relax.
I think he's just going home for the holidays.
Just bring the spider.
Travel with the spider. A spider can't handle travel.
Well,
the spider deserves peace.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the spider owner if they listen to the podcast. Like,
it's like one of Ross's friends.
Like the thing is if you decided to get a spider,
it's not. Why? But no, he wasn't on his hands and knees begging. He said, "Can someone take care of my spider for a week?" It wasn't like he was like someone has to. It just was sweet to me.
It is sweet.
I was like, that's really sweet.
But I don't want to pivot. Like,
no, you can pivot away from.
No, I was gonna be talking about like owning pets in general during the holidays. It's never easy. It's never easy, and I'm not speaking on experience. I'm speaking on observation. And I can't imagine having a big dog and having to travel across the country. I can't imagine. What do you do with the dog? You don't travel to see your family. And that's why I'm starting Rough Air. Rough Air, you can travel with your dog.
The name is insane. The name is one of the most insane things I've ever heard. It is like a difficult people. It is like the other two skit.
Yeah.
Go on.
RUFF Air. Because I do think it's unfortunate for some owners of any animal to be like, you know what? I'm going to sit out this holiday, or I'm not going to go home because I have this large golden retriever that I can't go to see my family in California, or I got to find someone to take care of my dog or put it in a hotel, because it's pricey to put dogs in hotels and get them watched.
But here's the thing, and you know I've said this before.
Buy a ticket.
Or if you can't, don't get the dog. Don't get the 200-pound golden retriever.
Some people, to what you just said, need a bond. They love
get
that
a spider.
Bond.
Get a spider.
But then you're in the same exact situation. So at the end of the day, get a cat.
Get a cat. You can actually leave them alone for months and they would not even miss you.
They're like, fine.
It's actually crazy how cats are so self-sustaining. They're the only like self-sustaining pet you could possibly have, but they stink.
It's because they're pissing everywhere.
They're not pissing everywhere. They're pissing in the litter box.
My idea of cats is just like
they piss wherever they want, nonstop.
No.
So my second favorite holiday movie, The Grinch. Come on,
of course,
and we'll get to that.
We're gonna get to that. But I feel like your third, and I don't want to take the words out of your mouth. I'm curious to say what you're going to say
because I have one in mind.
I don't want to take the words out of your mouth. It's just I feel like, but I think it lost you over time. I did think it lost you over time.
Then we're not on the same page, because the one that I'm thinking of has only grown over time. So you're saying a movie that I used to love that I've lost interest in over time.
But it's still a classic.
But I watch it often. Is it Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
No.
Well, we don't know what
it's Elf.
I never, ever, 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 from the day it came out, was an Elf fan.
Why? Tell me the truth. Tell everybody the truth.
I had nothing against the film, but I was never a fan. I remember I didn't even see it the first year it came out. I skipped it. I said, let's skip that one, Mom. Let's not go to the movies for that one. I'll never forget. I think I talked about this last year on the podcast. A lunch aid at recess. I was doing something and she said, you know who you remind me of?
Buddy
the Elf from Elf. I said, I haven't seen that.
You do give Buddy the Elf, like...
what?
Not in personality, but in stature.
I am tall, like Will Ferrell, I guess.
Yeah. You do give Buddy
I think everything else I give, like the like James Caan and Buddy and Elf. Yeah. Like I give like
I think that I give more Buddy than you do.
Yeah. I was thinking if we were to do that costume, you would have to be Buddy and I would have to be his dad. Not his elf dad, his actual dad.
Has anyone ever tried that pasta?
People are trying it all the time.
You're kidding.
The syrup.
I'm late to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not an original idea. No, people have been making it year after year for the holidays.
Well,
I think it would
me joining that tradition.
I would gag on spot.
Because you hate a syrup.
Maple syrup, chocolate syrup, spaghetti.
Yeah.
Marshmallow sprinkles.
I think so.
Go to hell. Go to hell.
Joe, some people like sweet. And the thing is, a noodle can hold any sauce. And that's just the truth.
Did you like Elf? Were you an Elf head?
I did. I think, again, there was whimsy.
I kind of loved Elf.
It was like, thank you.
I kind of loved Elf.
Because I'll tell you one thing about Elf.
Yeah.
They do a good job of portraying the North Pole.
They do.
They do a good job. And then when he's like walking through the actual ice caps and he's like, the
narwhal?
The narwhal.
Hope you find your dad, buddy.
Exactly. And you're like, oh, and then he's in New York City.
I do love any movie that takes place in New York City. I really do.
I do.
I feel like my issue with Elf just lies. Maybe it lies in the zeitgeist. Maybe we've gone too far with it. I did see Elf on Broadway. I walked out.
Wait, Joe, I was actually going to ask you this. Should I see it in
Actually,
London?
I may have stayed for Elf. I left I'm sorry if you were involved in the production. I'm very sorry, Rudolph. I left the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on Broadway. By on Broadway, I mean at the theater at Madison Square Garden.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the musical?
I went with Michelle.
The Rusical?
It was the Rusical. It was the Rusical. It was literally, I'm not joking, one of the most miserable experiences of my life. It was hot. It was boring. It was like a little too horny. They were just in these sections. Like, I honestly, I'm not like, it's scary because like I've crossed the line into furry so hard, and yet like I've still tried it. Like I've done the research. I've looked at images, and I'm like, this is still not for me. And yet I love talking about like fuckable fursuits.
But it's weird that
Clarice was like too bodied up. Like she had a waist. She was snatched. She had tits and she had an ass, and like that was just a little too much for me. And then it was just like I was like, it was too evident that these were like adults who fuck dressed as reindeer who are 4. Do you know what I mean? Like I was like, this is just like, I didn't feel compelled.
And I will say, sometimes you gotta just keep it on the screen. You gotta keep it to the screen. And that's an
example of keep it on the screen. Keep it on the screen.
Because not every single movie, not every single TV show or concept.
My gloves!
Put them on. But Joe, Elf the Musical's in London while I'm there, and I was thinking I'm gonna go see it. But do you think
Why would you waste your time seeing that?
You gotta think it's the Christmas time.
But like you could see that in New York.
But I mean, it's not London.
No, it's a play about New York.
I guess you're right. Why would I go to
I feel like you should see something you can only see at the West End.
Anyways, what's the damn movie with the roofs? You know what I'm talking about. The competing roofs.
Deck the Halls.
Deck the Halls.
Deck the Halls is a cinematic masterpiece.
I'm not watching Deck the Halls
First
enough.
of all, the cast of Deck the Halls is insane. You have Danny DeVito.
Amazing.
You have Kristen Chenoweth.
Come on.
You have no, like you're slapping too fast. You have Matthew Broderick. You have Kristen Davis, Charlotte from Sex and the City. You have what's her name? She's in Search Party. She's in Arrested Development.
What are the names?
Alia Shawkat.
Yes. I'm sorry. I don't think I've seen Deck the Halls since it came out.
There's a scene in Deck the Halls that stuck with me.
Is it horny?
Mm-hmm.
What happens in Deck the Halls?
It's not horny at all, and it stuck with me. Just like this.
Is it a furry?
No, stop.
I'm sorry.
Danny DeVito like knocks on Matthew Broderick's door, and Matthew Broderick's wearing a robe.
Looks like we got a visitor.
Whoa! Matthew Broderick's dick was out, and I'll never forget it. That did something to me as a child.
Matthew Broderick's dick was out.
You don't see it, but he acknowledges that his dick is sticking out of the robe. And I just, as a kid, hearing that,
you're like,
I would think about it.
I
would think about it every time I saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Uncensored Deck the Halls full footage.
Deck the Halls uncut version, X-rated.
X-rated.
But that is a great film.
It is a great film.
Kristen Chenoweth can do anything.
I was just thinking, Kristen Chenoweth can get on a stage and hit a whistle tone. and then also just simply act and not have to sing.
And she's like, "Come on, girls, we're moving out. We're getting out of here."
She has this,
why?
like,
Come
pep
on,
in her step.
we're just celebrating Christmas. You can do it, Danny DeVito.
That was good.
Do it.
We're just celebrating Christmas. That doesn't sound like him at all.
Do it. You would try again.
We're just celebrating Christmas.
There you go.
I think that I need to just lean in, and I can be the next Danny DeVito.
I've been saying this to you since you were 7 years old.
I think that like I've because I'm gearing towards, would you say, queer icon, as opposed to a Italian actor.
Yeah, I guess if those are your two paths, yeah, I would say you're gearing more.
I'm kidding. No, I think that like if I just leaned in a little bit more and really like owned the Italian and started doing a little bit more.
You don't think you've leaned into the Italian?
I think I leaned into the Italian. I do. Some people just still don't think I'm Italian.
Well, deck the halls. Who do you think the number one outside of Mariah Carey pop musician who dominates the Christmas music charts is?
You're upset with me when I say
well,
this.
because you're on the wrong side of history. Go ahead and say it.
Ariana Grande.
It's just like when
I'll tell you one thing. I get it because it's like
imitation.
It's
also
Christmas pop.
imitation. Like it's like she is just doing the Mariah thing.
She starts on the top of the Christmas pop playlist on Spotify, and someone's got to talk to somebody about that.
No, that's fine. But I'm just like, if you're gonna
Santa, tell me if you're really there.
Don't make me fall in love.
Top 5 for me
of all time Christmas songs.
Ooh,
that's
a
tough.
good one. That's a really hard.
I think All I Want for Christmas Is You is the top.
I mean, no one's gonna top Mariah Carey.
No one's topping Mariah.
Period.
She's kind of a top.
She's giving top energy.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
I will say, Santa, can you hear me?
That's my favorite Christmas song.
Yeah.
I Only Wish This Year by Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Does it hit for you? Does it hit you more and more every year?
This year,
more
specifically
than
ever for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah, a platitude.
A
platitude of reasons.
He doesn't have any Christmas music.
Well, he's Jewish. I remember being on vacation right before Christmas, like in 2019, with my entire family, my sister, her then fiance, or her husband then, my mom, my dad, me. And I was standing alone outside in the cold looking at people ice skating, and My Only Wish This Year came on. And I was like, I am going to actually kill myself if I am not in a relationship by next Christmas. Little did I know, I would be in 2 before that Christmas. And out of both of them.
Can you believe? Does it hit? Well, you were in a relationship last Christmas too.
Yeah,
but it's a little different this year.
It's a little bit more of a solidified relationship. I think all of those like cute things though are kind of like first year of dating and relationship, but it is sweet to be like, oh, I have someone now for the holidays.
I feel like the holidays, it is a great time to be in a relationship, and a lot of the music will remind you of that. But also, it's kind of weird because it's like, I feel like a lot of the Christmas songs are extremely horny.
It is a really horny genre of music. It's a very sexual genre of music. It's Christmas and I want to stick my dick in your box. I'm coming down your chimney with my tits out.
Oh, yes.
That's T. Kyle.
Who is it?
T. Kyle.
You're kidding.
It's excellent. You have any funny Christmas stories? Any kooky Christmas stories?
Do you have one? Do you want me to
I'm
ask
asking you a question?
Sometimes I don't want to be asked the question.
Well, I mean, maybe if you ever wanted to ask me a single question.
Do you have any funny?
If you ever wanted to originate an original question and ask me in this podcast, I will happily oblige.
Do you have any funny Christmas stories, Joe?
That's really sad. That's really sad. Do you remember Christmas in school? Remember the holidays in school?
I mean, kind of, not really.
it's like talking to a damn wall. I mean, this sucks. I feel like for me in high school, we had senior lockerations. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget. That was quite a festive day. That was quite a festive day.
I kind of feel like I lived through that through you.
Yes, because it was also the same day as senior antics night.
Did someone win? Did you win the lockerations?
I don't think my team won.
But it was like a competition.
There was a winner, yes.
That's
and
sweet.
Senior lockerations, it was like at the end of the school day, one day in December, the whole senior class would get together in the senior hallways and decorate their locker sections. And I'll never forget, because I wasn't really speaking in high school to anyone except for my friends.
Yep.
Had I been granted the serenity to control the lockerations for our team,
You would have won.
we would have slayed it down boots.
I feel like you would have brought in a snow machine.
Yes, easy.
There would have been fog.
Yes, easy.
People wouldn't be able to see shit.
Yes.
People would be slipping
I think
and
I would have
sliding.
done. I could imagine 2013. It would have been Frozen themed, like you've never seen.
Oh
it would have
my
been
gosh.
Disney Parks level animatronics. It would have been Disney Parks
The
level
lockers
animatronics.
would be swinging
Open and closed. Yes. I remember seeing Frozen at that age and being a little bit too obsessed with it.
Well, Joe, come on.
What?
It was amazing.
But I just don't think it
You
was.
think we were too old?
Like, I was old. Like, again, like, people, 17, like, people are fucking. People are, like, literally partying and fucking.
Yeah, but I still think you're young enough to love Elsa, to stan Elsa, that queen.
It's just a little bit alarming when you think about that. Like, some people are pregnant. Some people have had a child. Some people are addicts.
But those are the people that you
addicts
surround
at
yourself with,
17.
because I think that also, like, a lot of our friends, people we knew, were seeing Frozen.
But
It was
we were
like the thing
I'm
to do.
Anna, you're Elsa. Like, we were like literally like, I think that we were a little
We're
bit
like cosplaying.
wrong, like mentally off.
Well,
For
Joe,
how much we loved Frozen.
can you even believe you're saying
I think
that?
I saw Frozen in theaters at least 6 times.
Yeah, I saw it a few.
That soundtrack, I owned the DVD.
And I do believe that and this is controversial, you haven't seen Frozen 2, right?
I skipped it.
Well, it's because when you love something so much,
you can't bear to see it change.
you can't bear to see it change. And I did see Frozen 2.
And you hated?
It wasn't that I hated, I just had such high expectations, and it was so dark for me.
Like depressing?
Yeah, it was really a
dark
dark film.
I heard it was like an action film more than it was.
There was
Game
action,
of Thronesy.
It was action, but it was like, it just like the feeling that you felt wasn't like of pure bliss and joy.
Na hey ya na na hey ya hey ya la hey ya hey ya na ya nu la 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 la. I'm sorry, whatever Nordic tribe.
We kind of butchered that.
I just feel like, I don't know, like Frozen did it for me that year. I'm trying to think about
Is Elsa a lesbian?
Yeah, and that's not even up for debate.
Right.
That's like, I think that's almost like a fact.
It's a
I was
fact.
just thinking, what's gonna happen to conservatives the day that some dumbass, and I'm not even hinting that it's gonna be me that's dumbass, makes a Christmas movie where Santa is gay? Because let's be honest,
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
it would
soon.
be weirder if
Could it?
Santa was straight. What straight man do you know that lives in the North Pole with 1,000 elves and a wife, and builds toys and loves milk and cookies
with his literal best friend forever?
Yes.
His bestie.
What straight man do you know that belly shakes when he laughs like a bowl full of jelly? What straight man do you know that has a sled with 8 little reindeer? What about this reads as heterosexual to anyone? Do you know what I mean?
With Rudolph with the little red nose.
And he also
nibbling those cookies.
Yes. What straight man would name his pet reindeer Rudolph, Dancer, Dasher, Prancer, Vixen, Donner, Cupid?
Prancer says it all.
Prancer says it all.
Oh,
And it's
Prancer
not
says
even,
it
I'm
all.
not even trying to bait people with this one. It's just a matter of fact. Because if I'll say one thing, you're so insistent Santa's straight, I would like to introduce someone who is insistent that Santa is straight to a man who has all of the qualifications of Santa Claus minus the name. And I want to say, is that a straight man? What straight man's wearing a velvet red suit with a white fur trim and a big black belt and shiny black patent leather
And he's
boots?
always like put together nicely.
He's a little flamboyant.
And you don't throw that word around often.
I hate the word flamboyant.
You hate the word flamboyant.
I really do, but I'm saying it about Santa Claus.
Again, that's the one word I got right in my SAT English section. I do believe, though, that if Santa was to be gay and they were to make a movie about this, Newsmax would be all over this.
It would be end times
because they'd be like,
they still can't even make Santa black. Like, they still can't even bridge that gap. It's still a controversy.
I do believe that, and this is horrible to say, but I do believe that they would throw around the word predator.
Of course.
Predator.
But it's normal for a straight man to creep down your chimney and deliver gifts to your kids.
And have your kids sit on your lap.
Santa's a drag queen. And let's say it. Santa Claus is a drag queen.
Welcome to the stage, Santa Claus. Stop.
Santa Claus. Do you have like a great aunt named Santa? Because why do I?
You have a great aunt named Santa.
Santa.
The way that you said Santa Claus is a drag name, and then I thought in my head, Santa is a beautiful name.
I know. I have aunts named Santa. How did that
I
come
wonder
about?
her name is her full name Santa Maria.
Santa Maria, I'm sure. Yeah. Santa.
Well, that makes you think.
Is Santa's full name Santa Maria? Because we haven't even gotten into it. What are some secular ways to celebrate December?
Some secular ways to celebrate December, I would say start sipping on hot chocolate just at the beginning. Okay. December 1st hits. You want to get
good
cozy
time for a hot chocolate.
And you know what, Joe? I was thinking about this last week. I'm never going into a coffee shop and getting a hot chocolate. I'm never going in.
Because you say, what's the point? I need caffeine.
And that...
I need a hit. It's
and
addiction.
That's why. Say what you want to say about them. And I do believe I've brought this up before. Dunkin' Donuts had a point.
What?
With the Dunkachino.
Because... Was the Dunkachino not caffeinated?
No, it was caffeinated, but it was hot chocolate forward. I get that a mocha, people would say a mocha is just a hot chocolate with espresso in it. But no, it's not. No, it's not, because you know the difference between mocha and chocolate. And when there's
I've never bought into mocha as a flavor. I've never bought in.
You never, because I'll tell you something. There are some damn good mochas out there. Some really good. When they are making a mocha, and if they're not brushing that mocha at the bottom of the mug, you don't want it. You want to see them like brushing it with a fucking paintbrush almost.
What the hell are you saying?
Well, you're not going to cuisine. The cuisine cafes.
Are you having a mental breakdown?
I think that I'm actually dying. No, but I think that secular ways, drink your hot chocolate, and if they do have a homemade marshmallow, add the marshmallow.
Oh, that's the best.
Come on.
That's the best.
And when it's candy cane?
So you're saying if you're not celebrating Christmas, the one thing you can do this year just to feel like you're in a spirit of joy is just get a hot chocolate with a marshmallow and a candy cane.
And go ice skating.
You like ice skating?
I hate it. I hate ice skating.
The fact that we worked at an ice rink, we didn't work there for the holidays ever.
Because, no, we never worked
We only
there for
worked in the
holidays.
off season.
But I do wonder, do people enjoy ice skating besides Michelle Trachtenberg? Do people enjoy...
People live it. People love it because it's freedom. It's freedom on skates.
I do believe that we should go this year.
We're not meant to be on blades. We are not built for blades. We are not built to skate. We are simply not ice princesses. And that's a shame. And it's hard to swallow a pill. Hard for us. People like us. But it's the truth.
Joe, and I don't believe that I could swallow that pill just yet.
You could swallow a lot.
I can swallow lots of things.
But you can't swallow that pill.
The ice skating pill, I think I need to give it one more try. It's kind of like the Olive Garden. I always got to give it one more try.
That's it. We got it, you guys. We got the clip.
Guys, we did it.
We got the moment. I would like to talk about this little bitch right here. This is Rudolph. He's my Build-A-Bear that I got in the 4th grade. He is wearing Joe boxers. It says Bear Boxer. And he's wearing this cute little shirt. This cute.
What was the inspiration behind the boxers?
It's just like his pajama pants. You know, it's like his Christmas pajama pants. I slept with him every single night, and he used to play Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and his nose used to light up. And then for years, it played it in the most haunting sound. It was like
the thing about it. Build-A-Bear needs to figure out how you can swap them out.
I mean, it's okay. He had his time in the sun.
But like, why are Build-A-Bears just dying? You know what I mean? Like, it's sad.
This
you
is
mourn.
from 4th grade. So what year was that? 2006?
Around.
So that's how old is this?
No, 2004. Because you're like 8.
But we graduated high school. We graduated elementary school in 2007.
2005, 2006, yeah.
Winter 2005 into 2006. So how old would he be?
He would be 18.
That's crazy that he's 18 years old. That's crazy.
When you think about 18-year-olds,
he's
and
18,
your Rudolph
and look at him.
is 18.
He looks amazing for 18.
He looks amazing for 18. Because
like, he looks
most
brand
18-year-olds
new.
don't.
He looks brand new.
Yeah, brand spanking
for 18. New. That's pretty impressive.
I think it's amazing. I do believe that he should still be singing for you.
Well, that's true, but I have another surprise for you. And it's Clarice, who I got the following year. I fell to my knees. Because you know Aloysius, my elf?
Actually, I do.
I had an elf before Elf on the Shelf, before Elf on the Shelf was even a lie, before that bitch ever came onto the scene.
They're too scary.
They're creepy. My elf was called Aloysius, and he would come the first weekend of December, and I'm fully expecting him to come this year, as he's come every year since, and he would give me a gift. And all I wanted as a 5th grader, was Clarice in this cocktail dress with this fur shawl.
Stop, Joe.
All I wanted was Clarice, because I had Rudolph and I just wanted the matching set, and I needed her in this gorgeous little dress.
It actually is so gorgeous, that dress, that like Clarice she has a beat down.
Me in 5th grade, a gay little boy, begging my mom and dad for this Clarice in this gown, this Jingle Bell Rock ass dress.
And they're like, I know, but let's just get him the Clarice.
I wake up that first weekend of December. I think I get back from the ranch, actually. I walk into my room and she's sitting there. I collapsed in tears, hysterically sobbing.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
She had a heartbeat.
But do you know what I mean when I'm saying that the Build-A-Bears die? These kids are mourning their childhood because it doesn't play any longer, and they don't have a swap out element.
She's 17. She looks literally fresh out of the box.
She does.
Like, it's actually crazy how good she looks.
You preserve your stuffed animals very well.
Thank you. I love.
And now
both.
Talk about traditions. Those will be passed down if you're willing to give them
folk songs,
like folk songs. I'm getting really excited for the holidays.
Christmas time, filled with laughter, smiles, and bright eyes. Builds up faster, and nobody stops and looks around. Too busy, why do you know the words? Planning parties and happenings. What's the purpose behind the presents, Christmas trees? Maybe you could explain to me. Christmas Eve is filled with fun, getting presents from everyone. Why has this all begun? Let's take a chance, a path around into the past where we have come to the beginning of a lifetime. Whoa, Christmas time is here and everyone is filled with cheer. But how do you spend this day without the care and comfort of your family? So when you're wrapping those presents, think about how this is it. There's never gonna be another chance to have this moment with your family. Not one for spending time. I see you're not the one to make plans.
Joe, I think that like I'm not, and
we're gonna
record
in
a
the
lot.
studio.
We like Joe. It's so
by next
good
year.
I think it's so good that Mariah Carey, her team is
they're gonna pluck it from me. They're gonna buy it.
Fuck out because
for like, Christmas of a Lifetime.
A video is gonna be released in
November,
September, I think, because we're gonna be like
before Halloween.
Woo! Christmas is coming, just like her, and then we're gonna put a little clip out, and then that song releases.
Yeah.
No, I think that you're going to the top of the Christmas charts.
It's just like, I think childhood me deserves it. And for those of you who have no idea what just happened, we did just sing the Joe Hegyes original Christmas carol, Christmas of a Lifetime, recorded in, I would say, probably 9th grade, 8th grade. I produced it, I wrote the lyrics, and I had Andrew come in for a gorgeous intro. It takes place at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
I do believe that.
Next year.
I do believe, Joe.
Last night I was laying in bed with Ross. I looked at him in the eyes in full sincerity, and I said, I have no doubt in my mind that I will be performing at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. He said, you should tell Phil that.
Phil's gonna let us go.
I would say, Phil.
I'm like, I thought you were gonna say, I have no doubt in my mind that we're gonna be hosting the Thanksgiving Day Parade.
I also don't have any doubt. I have no doubt.
Some of the greats.
When you're this crazy, look. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? You look actually like you just escaped from a facility. Like, it's so petrifying.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Oh, yeah. It's a wonderful feeling. I was going to bring up one more thing before we wrap this shit up. We used to host a lot of Christmas holiday specials together. And that's cute to me. And it does give me the vibe that one day we will host something, because from the ages of 9 forward, without fail, and it was always not Christmas time. We always shot these things with the standard production schedule. We would shoot them in
weeks in advance.
Late summer. Mm-hmm. We would shoot our Christmas specials for YouTube. iJoe, long-standing series we had, the iJoe holiday special. Mm-mm. I think we'll have to bring it onto Patreon this year, because it's going to be copyright struck in immediately, because it's all Ashley Tisdale's holiday album.
Which, fantastic.
Incredible. And she put me on to Last Christmas. I'll never forget. George Michael who? George Michael who? Because Ashley Tisdale's Last Christmas is the original, in my opinion.
Of course.
Fuck Wham. I'm sorry.
They come on, it's good.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, George Michael.
May they rest.
There was a time where I thought I looked just like George Michael. We don't have to get into it.
Please.
But anyway, we and you would host a holiday special.
On this week's episode of iJoe, we'll introduce ourselves and tell you about the show. Luckily, this is the holiday-themed episode, so make sure you watch. Hi everybody, this is iJoe. I'm Joe. I'm Andrew. And this is our own little web show.
I just think it was just so that we could sing and dance. But we played musical chairs one time.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
We had I had a penguin. The set is insane. It is typical us. We're in my backyard, 2 like plastic vinyl outdoor dining chairs weathered by years of sun exposure. A paper folder with a penguin on it. That's like, I think, to set the scene that we're like in the Arctic, because I was big on the Arctic.
Joe. Everything you did was Arctic.
Every single possible like Christmas or like winter themed webkins was on display. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget the day I got the reindeer, the snowman, the
there was
penguins.
A snowman webkin.
We were a little old, but I got the snowman webkins.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Nonetheless, he was there.
I would like to know the year that came out.
It's like 2016.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
No, I actually think it was not that. I think it was
sure it was
medium range. Yeah, medium range for webkins. And we would just sit there and talk. But the only downside is that I didn't know how to mix music yet. Not that I still do. I think it's actually similar to a lot of the podcast episodes. You just hear the music. You don't hear us speaking.
Yep. It's actually
sound has never been my forte.
And that's good.
And I said, let's start a podcast.
That's fine.
I learned a lot in the past 2 years, the past year and a half.
I do remember
6 weeks.
what was the one? we were talking. I forgot what song was blaring.
I'm sure it was
over
like
us.
All About for Christmas or something.
Yes.
But that's also the video of us eating the marshmallows.
That's
the
it. That's what it
iconic
was.
video. Yes.
And we were like, can't use this video because you can't hear anything that we're saying.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, we're always like out of frame. We were always like never visible, but somehow we made it work.
Of course.
And that's the spirit of the holidays.
But it's the spirit of the holidays, and I think that like when we were that young, we had so much joy within us. Like the holidays really was an amazing time to come together. What did you say?
Welcome to the stage, Fahu Dorez.
Welcome to the stage, Fahu Dorez.
I am so excited for the next couple of episodes. Oh wait, sorry, it's not over. Good children to the North Pole.
Hi, Andrew and Joe. My name is Meg. First of all, I want to clear my name really quick because I was at your Boston show in April on, I think it was Thursday. I was in the front row and I was blackout drunk, and so I just want to apologize for that right now and clear my name. As well, I couldn't stop the...
Don't worry, Meg. You were one of 15 people blackout drunk at that Boston
Meg,
show.
I don't remember you being the one that we had to call out.
Yeah,
so, Meg, you were fine.
My question is so random, but you guys have great skin, so I'm going to ask. Have you ever dealt with acne as a grown-up? Like, I'm 24 years old, and I legit just started having annoying acne and breakouts again, and I'm off the, like, good skincare game, so I'm just looking for some recommendations. So random. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Whoa.
Meg, it's funny you should say that because I don't think I've ever suffered from more acne in my life than as an adult.
Yeah.
I'm looking at myself every day. I have pimples all over my head. You may be fooled by the studio lighting that we have.
Yeah,
but
agree. I don't know. Like,
you're pretty good. You're pretty much good.
Which is shocking. I will say that, like, there was a second in my life that I was definitely, like, beating my face with wash, moisturizer, the little, like, oils and serums. And now I'm just really washing and moisturizing.
And God bless that.
And God bless that. I use OC.
You use OC.
OC. All natural from the sea, I guess.
I use milk, but the issue for me is that I don't exfoliate. And I actually know that that's the issue. Like, I've gone to facialists, I've gone to dermatologists. They're always like, you must exfoliate. I never do.
Yeah.
So I do cleanse and I moisturize, but I'm not exfoliating. I need to.
I'm never exfoliating.
And when I did exfoliate, I was using this fucking brand that was so expensive, but it works. It's like Potion 350.
Ooh.
Whatever that is, that works.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I had a few years where my skin was gorgeous, like not a flaw in sight. That coincided with COVID.
Yep.
That coincided with not drinking ever, eating extremely clean, working out, drinking 1,000 gallons of water a day.
Yes.
Like, my skin looked like I was someone who was doing that. Now, having fast food a couple times a week, you know, getting drunk a couple times a week, you know, forgetting to wash my face a couple times a week, not having a washer dryer and unit, so not washing my sheets as much as I should be. My skin suffers the consequences. Wearing a hat 24/7 because I'm growing out my hair, as you may be able to tell from this episode. I definitely have like forehead acne that really troubles me, and I hate it. But I kind of just got to a point because I used to also like face tune out pimples and shit because I was like, you know, like, why not? It's not harmful. But I got to this point, especially with more and more people looking at us on a daily basis and like seeing us. And again, remembering that we kind of get to be people, like remembering that there are people who see themselves in us, but not only that, I think there are people who I see myself in who
for sure
follow us, who are on Patreon, who like engage with our content, and I'm like, if I can just be someone who is like doing shit and is normal, like who posts a picture where my skin doesn't actually look amazing, and it's like, who fucking, like, it doesn't fucking impact me, like I'm still having regular sex and have friends, you know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't actually fucking matter.
You're right.
What do you think?
No, you do have regular sex and have friends.
So do you.
Yeah, I do.
Why are you saying it like
that? No, I do. No, I'm kidding.
You sound like you're lying.
I'm like, no.
For more on that, come to Patreon.
Choose whatever works for you. I've ran the gamut.
I think sometimes doing, are you saying that you're doing a lot of skincare?
No, I think just a cleanser and a moisturizer. But I've tried them all.
And that's the message of the holidays. And speaking of the holidays,
I have on record
that there is a peppermint frosty And I think me and you need to get to our nearest Wendy's.
I drive to at least 5 Wendy's for this if they didn't have it at the first one.
And I hope that you will, because we might have to.
Good children to the sleigh.
Don't you miss going to school?
I miss going to school. I'll tell you this, seeing the school bus, it's nostalgic.
It's
nostalgic. Seeing the stop sign, I'm stopping for the bus.
This is so pathetic.
It's pathetic. It's
getting more and more pathetic with each passing week.
No, it really, again, it puts it into perspective. Like when I go home and I'm like, Mom, can I get your car? And today she saw us and she said, you know what? I'm giving up judging. And that's a really good way to put it. I am excited for the Frosty. I'm excited to have a little something cold on, I would potentially say, one of the coldest days of the year.
Never enough, never enough for me. You look like O.J. Simpson.
Wow. I've been told that before.
Hi guys. So, Andrew, on a scale of 1 to starving, where are you at?
I'm past starving. I'm almost like, I'm shocked that I still have a smile on my face.
I'm feeling like we're surprisingly jovial.
I mean,
we're surprisingly jolly.
The holiday season, how could you not be? And it's not like we're about to eat food, iJoe.
I'm gonna get a baked potato. I'm gonna get some fries.
You're gonna get a baked potato?
Do you have a wallet? Nope. This just gets worse and worse.
That stinks because I had a lot of cash too. I had a lot of cash.
Where'd you get cash from?
I would say that it's good to have about $35 in your wallet.
Yeah, well that would be amazing. I would love to have $35.
Period.
I got a Rakuten check today. You would think that I was paid out by the government.
Well, basically, if you think about it that way.
I could use a stimulus.
A tax return.
I could really use a stimulus check right about now.
In general.
I could use stimulation.
Yeah, well.
It is so gray out. It looks like Forks, Washington. It looks, honestly, the most beautiful Farmingdale has ever looked. Pops, this is how Andrew gets pulled over.
I would get pulled over. I still have to beat it. I'm very excited for
What are we getting, Andrew?
We're getting peppermint Frosties. I guess we'll get a little side too. What you don't know is that we are going to go to another place after this for another episode. So I am definitely my eyelashes are kind of stunning. There aren't a lot of them because I did pluck them out my entire. I plucked them out.
What do you mean?
When I was a kid, I would pluck out my eyelashes.
Why?
I don't know, Joe. I'd like to go to a diner while I'm on
My mom looked at me and said, "Your hair looks great like that."
Joe, it's just, it doesn't
Your hair
end.
looks great. Your hair
end.
like that, it looks good.
It doesn't end.
Lying.
You know what, while I'm home, not even for the pod, I'm gonna get, they have it. I'm gonna get a Chili's from Wendy's. I'm gonna get, you want fries? But they also have the smashed potatoes.
What the fuck is a smashed potato? Smashed?
I actually don't know if it said smashed, but they look like the potatoes that you smash with a cup and you leave them like fingerling.
What do you mean?
Roast them or you boil them, you roast them, you smash it with a cup, it gets flat, and they're fry-like.
Yeah, you got the smashed potatoes. You can't top.
That's not true.
Your hair looks so good. Like, this looks so good poking out of the back of it. Like, that's what I wish my hair looked like.
Do you want fries and the smash, or do you want just the smash?
Just the smash.
Because we're trying something different.
We
know
different.
there's sea salt
We know,
fries.
yeah, and it's like, come on, do they care?
No one cares about the Wendy's.
Joe and Andrew tried the Wendy's fries for the 15th time on their podcast.
It's like,
at some point it becomes self-serving.
It's almost to a point
You know what I had for lunch yesterday? I want you to guess.
Do you need a water?
So badly.
Should I ask for a bottle or cups of water?
Yeah, maybe. Aiden, our patron, works for the United States Postal Service.
Oh,
Aiden,
wait.
Shout out
Hi.
to Aiden. And this, I would say our patron of the week is Aiden, because Aiden is putting in the work. It is the time of year where you are
delivering.
You're shipping shit out, and Aiden is there to help you out. He's giving us some tips.
I almost want to do one day the Trisha paid us. I'm going to order with the person.
Yeah, we have next week.
Hi, can I get 2 small peppermint Frosties, a small strawberry Sprite, and then did you guys have those potatoes that I saw when I was driving in, like the smashed potatoes?
We have potatoes.
Yeah, I'll do those. Two orders of those, small.
plain?
No, she thinks you're talking about
Oh no, I thought they were like small little potatoes, not fries, but do you know what I mean? Maybe I just saw it wrong. They're like fries, but they're like smashed potatoes. Did I make that up?
No, I don't think we have.
Okay, that's fine. That's completely fine. We're just gonna get. Do you want fries? Yeah. We'll do an order of a medium fry.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
11:36.
Thank you.
You made up
No,
this.
I'm gonna drive around. Joe, I'm not kidding. No, I gotta go. I'm gonna drive around after this, obviously, because I need to see if they had the smashed potatoes. I sounded like a fucking idiot.
You know, that was really embarrassing. You were like, you actually were like describing what you wish.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a Apple Pay?
Yeah. Apple Pay.
Yeah.
Say the one glove like Michael Jackson, like O.J. Simpson.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I saw strawberry Sprite.
No.
That's
I can't believe you. Thank you.
This is a straw over yourself.
She's gonna give us a straw.
I have a straw.
Because when you're Wendy, you give out straws. And you stay giving plastic. I need to know about the smash. I almost got the ghost pepper fries.
I was hoping you would.
Do you think that they're just seasoned?
Yeah, I was hoping you would get those.
Do you want me to drive back around?
Maybe.
I'm not kidding, I would. I have no shame. Those are fresh. Thank you. They're smashed. Because they're talking about the smashed potatoes.
Shit, someone actually ordered them.
Okay. Now look with me. Look with me. What does that say? Oh, seasoned potatoes. Seasoned potatoes for breakfast.
We have to get Wendy's breakfast.
I know, I was kind of thinking that, like...
That looks delicious. Their biscuit.
We are here for the morning tomorrow, but we're not going to probably make it. Unless we go straight
from the gym.
Wait, I can't believe that they were talking about me as Potato Boy.
Okay, cheers. That's pretty good.
Oh.
That's
my God.
Maybe the best thing I ever ate.
Joe, oh my God. Because you know what? Sometimes when you have... That's what I was going to say. Sometimes it's too pepperminty. It's tasting like toothpaste. And it's thick, man. Let me tell you.
Oh, that's incredible. And you know what that would pair great with?
A French fry.
Mm-hmm.
I just gotta sometimes lick the cap.
Oh, how could you waste?
I almost gotta take the glove off.
You should take a glove off.
Because at this point I'm eating fries with gloves and there's just something wrong. But I'll tell you one thing, when I take this glove off, it stinks of fish.
Of literally like week-old foreskin, I'm sorry.
Ew, Joe. It's good.
It's so fucking good. I mean, we've never not been singing Wendy's praises, but like, if you're looking for something today, if you're feeling the need, if you're saying I want to try something new that feels festive, we should sign up for the Frosty Club. For $3, I wish Wendy's was paying us. For $3, you can get a keychain. That gives you unlimited free Frosties for a year. Unlimited by one free Frosty a day. But that is still a crazy deal if you get even 2 Frosties for the year.
I think they're kitty Frosties.
Still.
That's enough.
I knew I was gonna like this. I did not know I was gonna love it.
And I did not know I was gotta have it. Kind of a protein shake if you look at it that way. Well,
back to the studio.
Well, you guys,
we did it.
We had fun. We celebrated the holidays. We're kicking off the holiday season.
Strong. Very strong.
And it's only going to get stronger and I think a little bit more psychotic week by week.
There's magic and joy behind everything that we're saying and doing here.
Andrew, and you are the most magical and joyous person I've ever met.
Joe, thank you. And I really do believe that this year you are going to be so jolly and you're going to be the epitome of being jovial. And people are going to see you walking down the street and say, holy shit.
I'm going to stop scaring people with just my normal presence.
That's Santa Claus.
Yes. Well,
and take
I'm on
that
the way.
As you will.
I'm on the way. For certain.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, review. Send it to your friends. Again, we're getting fun with the costumes.
Give us a review. 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Write something. They changed my life and they need a TV show.
Yeah. changed my life, and they need a
People
TV
still
show.
do. People are still. That's coming in very often. Still,
I
it's
love it.
amazing. And all those reviews really are so sweet.
They are so
They
sweet.
are so sweet. And everyone who sends a message, we get messages now pretty often. People starting the podcast for the first time. It is so crazy to receive those messages, to see that people are joining. Obviously, the Patreon community. We literally could not be doing what we are doing without Patreon. So like every single member of that community, whether you are chatting 24/7, whether you are a silent observer, just listening to the audio, like you are doing something major for us.
Yes.
So especially around the holiday season, we could not be more grateful.
Stop. Why am I gonna get emotional?
Yeah, I'm grateful. I got back safe. And don't forget to follow us across all platforms at Good Children Pod. I'm on TikTok at BeQuietJoe and on Instagram at Joe Hegyes.
I'm on Instagram at Andrew Muscarella, on TikTok at Andrew_Muskie. And with that,
I want to say sorry to Ariana Grande for what I said earlier.
I think that, and there's a lot of people that are gonna send her the clip, and I'm happy that they're gonna be able to
she
follow.
can't take another hit.
No, she can't take any more hits.
Santa, tell me if you're really there. Don't make me fall in love again if he won't be here next year.